My wife isn't affectionate at all. This is a complaint I hear from a lot of guys, well meaning, great hearts, in a lot of pain because they don't know what they did wrong and they're blaming themselves, or worse, they're blaming her. So let's dig in today on why my wife isn't affectionate at all. Hey guys, my name is Jeremy, and I have been working with men and women, couples, families, kids for over 2.5 decades. And in my time, I've seen a variety of circumstances. And this one, my wife isn't affectionate at all. That is a painful one for a lot of husbands and a lot of men. Their hearts are in the right place. They are givers and producers and providers and protectors, and they feel emasculated. They feel unwanted and unloved when they come home at night. And so the common advice that we're given, the whose fault, who's to blame, where to point the finger, the power, all the different arguments, all that does is keep you locked in this false pattern of battling back and forth as if it's a give or take instead of a give and receive. So I want to share with you some of my top ideas, top strategies, how you can start to shift that conversation at home. And you can stop saying my wife isn't affectionate with me at all. And you can start saying I love my time with my wife. So you guys ready? Let's dig in. Now when it comes to passion and intimacy and playfulness and sexy fun times, the first thing you got to get out of your head is you got to get rid of expectations and obligations, right? You got to get rid of yours on her, and ultimately she needs to get rid of hers on you. Because when you guys have all those projections, all those rules that nobody signed up for, it just takes away the passion and the intensity on the positive, and it just creates more resentment and more hostility and more you just don't care about me, you don't care about this marriage, you don't care about this house. So of course they don't want to be affectionate because you feel like the enemy 24/7, and that is just a horrible place for you both to live. So we've got to unpack this expectation obligation. Yes, you are the husband. More than likely, you're the one who's working and making the money, and she's at home and she's taking care of the house. Maybe she's working too. So you've got to get clear on your expectations and obligations. Like, what are the baselines to manage your household? Because if you both are just like, you're in neutral with each other, and it's a business, and we got to just come in and put in our time and get the kids fed and get the house clean and get the food bent and the pills and the bills and the fridge, there's no energy left in either of you to be affectionate. Because you're both in your own silos and you both need to rejuvenate and recharge. When's the last time you guys had a date night? When's the last time you didn't have expectations and priorities and deliverables and all the stuff of life, and you were just a boy and just a girl, just spending time together? See, if that stuff is missing, it's really hard to want to be affectionate because you're just constantly depleted, and so is she. So when someone says to me, my wife isn't affectionate at all, my wheels start to turn. I'm like, well, what does that mean, affectionate? Are we talking sexy fun times? Are we talking random foot rubs? Are we talking hugs? Is there any energy flow in the positive between the two of you? Because if there isn't, we got to get that figured out first. Then we can start to look at other issues and other situations. Now, the second thing you've got to hold on to is this. Repeat after me. If it is to be, it is up to me. There is no amount of finger pointing at her, and it's her fault, and she's not, and I expect, and why hasn't she? She's home all day, and she hasn't cleaned the house, and why are the kids a mess, and how come there's no food, and why do I have to... Do you hear the expectation on that? Do you think that makes someone want to touch you, and hug you, and connect with you, and envelop you in her love when you're constantly poking at her with a stick? Because then you just become another source of energy pulling out of her. She already has enough stuff pulling on her. And the fact she's not, quote unquote, handling her responsibilities, that's a sign, dudes. Like, when she's filled up to overflowing, she'll do all that stuff because it's what she likes to do. And it's just, oh, it feels so good to be in this space. And it feels so good to be with these people. And if that's not going on, that's a warning sign. That's a wake-up call. You need to step up and you need to step in. Because pointing fingers at her and you need to fix this stuff and you need to... There's no we. There's no team. It's two individuals living in their silos. And if that's the energy that you're going to throw back and forth at each other, yeah, you both deserve not to have any fun times with each other because you're both making each other wrong. So you've got to get out of that, and you've got to decide, if it is to be, it's up to me. You have to show up different. So you've got to pay attention to your own polarity, your own energy. Are you showing up neutral? Are you showing up angry and defensive? Are you showing up with a whole list and a chip on your shoulder? Because if you're all tense, she's going to feel that tension and she's going to blame herself and she's not going to feel safe and she's going to withdraw. If you're not a source of safety and strength and stability, y'all are dead in the water. So you've got to pay attention to how you show up and take ownership of your actions. That's all you can control anyway. I need you to get really clear. Raise your hand right this second. Even if you're by yourself, it's okay. Who wants to have more sexy fun times? Who wants more affection and more passion and more playfulness? Because that's part of what I'm here to deliver, guys. And you want to stick around to the end because I have a special something giveaway for you. You could get for free to help you quickly make some changes in your intimate life and get that affection game going at home and in life. Now, I want to share with you something to think about. I had 2 different clients. We'll call them Bob and Tom because they're great names. Interesting show if you listen to the radio. But Bob and Tom. And Bob is the people pleaser. And he is the doormat. And he's anything you can do and anything you need and anything I can get and anything. He'll bend himself over backwards, twist himself into a pretzel, ignore everything he needs to be able to deliver whatever. Tom, on the other hand, is that guy I just talked about, the hard case, and what I expect, and a woman needs to, and she needs to replace and make me a sandwich. And like, both these guys are realizing they're not walking towards a divorce, they're sprinting towards a divorce. And Tom is weaponizing, and he's attacking, and he's going to be proactive, and he is hard as stone. But on the other side, Bob is a milquetoast. He's a marshmallow. And they both have the same problem. Their women don't feel safe. They don't feel seen, heard. They can't trust. They can't relax. Because with Bob, she constantly has to tell him what she wants, and she has to placate him, and she has to validate him. It's like raising another child. He's not a partner. Tom is a constant explosion waiting to happen. So she's on pins and needles, and she's always in reaction mode, and she's always scared of what's going to come out of his mouth next. What did I do wrong now? What wasn't good enough now? In either case, she can't just relax and flow. So as we pay attention to this, you've got to start looking at the dynamic of what's happening. Not put blame, not point fingers. And if you find yourself wanting to do that, start to look at this woman and really begin to unpack her life. What is she going through? What is she experiencing? Did she just have a baby and the baby is the sole focus in her life? Is one of her kids just leaving for college and now she has that empty nest syndrome and she feels like a part of her heart is gone? Does she come from a strong religious background and sex is just for babies and affection is just for, and now that she's got her kids, that part of her is over and done and it's a necessary evil and I don't have to do it anymore? Like, there's a lot of complex reasons why the affection might not be happening. And it's one thing for you to be wrapped up in yourself, and you could be Bob or you could be Tom. You could be in either one of these extremes, and you're focused on your needs and what you're not getting. And the whole time, you're deleting what she's not getting. You're deleting what she needs. So you got to put on your detective hat. Because with both of these guys, we turned things around, but it was because I was able to get them to start getting back into their own awareness and take down all the defenses. Because I hate to tell you guys, love is not enough. Respect even isn't enough. You've got to have admiration. You've got to admire each other, look up to each other. There's an energy flow that changes. My wife, Autumn, is freaking amazing. And she can call me out and throw me on the carpet and haul me down and just be like, you're messing up. And she can just tear into me in one moment. And then her heart opens and she's like, she's such an amazing force of nature on the other side. Like, she's so dynamic and I love it and it's so amazing versus it's always she's one way or she's always the other. Like, we're partners and we battle and we go back and forth because I feel like, man, this is a woman, like, she lights me up on every level. It's the coolest. I could never go anywhere else. And then she feels bad because she's like, well, I don't mean to be mean to you. And I'm like, babe, is it the truth? And she's like, well, yeah. Hit me again. Give me the truth. The only 2 things I ask of her: give me the truth and stay out of the friend zone, because it's the coolest experience. And because I do that, we have a flow between us that's so authentic and so genuine. Her name is Autumn. She's a force of nature. I can take it. That's my favorite season. We were born to be together. Let's go. When you can show up in that centeredness and that playfulness and that intensity for your woman, she'll rub your feet because she sees you had a bad day. She'll want to get you a nice meal because she sees you're tired and how hard you work. Because it flows out of her naturally because she wants to, because she is safe. And she feels seen and heard and understood and appreciated. You're not going to get there playing the Bob game and placating and fawning. You're not going to get there playing the Tom game and being a dick and being so hard edge and I'm right. It's a balance and a dance in between. And that's the real secret, guys. That's where you want to live. That's where you want to love. All right, guys. So I have a question for you. Do you find yourself being more Bob or being more Tom? And where'd you get that? Was it your dad? Was it your grandfather? Was it a mentor? Was it a coach at school? Leave me a comment down below. Hit the like button because I'd love to know for you, where is this showing up? These are the two most biggest extremes I see in guys. So are you more of a Bob or more of a Tom? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious. Me personally, I was a little bit of both. Now for me, I look back now with the approach I have and the integration I have, and I see when I was a Bob and when I was a Tom. And because I understand where those came from and how and why, I can integrate them and show up more powerful for my wife and my kids today. So they're not wrong, but are they getting you your results? That's the real question. I promised you a special something at the end. And this is what I want to share with you. I have a quick Reigniting Passion guide. It is chock full of strategies, tools, tips, tactics, things to think about, specific questions to ask to help the two of you start to reignite your passion. And more of it is from you driving in the driver's seat, make it happen, versus hoping and praying and wishing, because that accomplishes nothing. So all you have to do is, it's in the description down below and it's pinned in the first comment. Drop in, go get it, start to reignite the passion in your life, get more love, get more joy, because it makes life amazing. And now if you're a parent, you know that knock on the door. Hold on one second. Evie, did you hear me talking?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you heard me talking to the people on the camera and you decided to knock on the door anyway. Can you say situational awareness?
Situational awareness.
Nice. That means
Can you say
a
daughter made with love and passion?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you say read the room?
Read
The room.
the room.
In this case, read the door. You heard me talking, so I needed just another second more. Okay? Alrighty. I did ask her for about 10 minutes. This video is about 10 minutes. She's a good timekeeper. So high five, Miss Evie.
I know my time with time minute. I heard you do the thumbs up, subscribe, do a comment stuff. I just came in handy.
Okay. Alright, so Evie, can you wave and say bye?
Bye bye everybody. I wasn't here for long.